Oh, to enjoy ginger ales again. If you're like me, you probably grew up enjoying things like soda, pop, whether it was a ginger ale, a root beer, a Coke, a Pepsi, an orange crust, you name it. I enjoyed them all. But unfortunately, when I got into health, I realized how these things are not the best for us, right? You probably heard about how they're created with phosphoric acid, the caramel color, not to mention the high fructose corn syrup that they're all sweetened with, not the best thing ever. But what is the best thing ever is that you can create them at home yourself. This is the easy upgrade. This is how you can create your own probiotic tonic sodas, what I like to call a friendly ferment. So today we're going to focus on ginger ale, ginger beer, non-alcoholic, of course. How you can create this at home yourself. Super easy to do. All you need to do, go out, get some fresh ginger, and get this at the health food store. Make sure it's organic. And step one of the process, we take our ginger and we take a grater and just finely shred that up. We're going to take about 2 tablespoons to begin with. And we're going to add that to a 1 liter jar. And what we're doing here is we're going to create what's called a ginger bug. This is going to be our starting culture. You've often heard of the idea of a sourdough culture. People create that at home with just flour and water. Well, we're going to create our own culture, our own friendly ferment with ginger, water, and sugar. That's all we need to start to create our little bacteria and yeast colony that's going to ferment this drink into a nice, bubbly probiotic tonic, the way that it was meant to be. The ginger ales, these were digestive tonics that were health-giving, health-promoting, and it can be again. So ginger, about 2 tablespoons into a liter. Then you're going to take your choice of sugar. Could be maple syrup, could be honey. I've got some evaporated cane juice here from the cane. So about equal portions of your choice sugar with a little bit of ginger, 2 tablespoons each in this case, and then we're going to add water to this jar, fill it up to the top, and now we watch, we wait, we let this sit. And each day we're going to come back to this and we're going to feed it with about another tablespoon of ginger, fresh, shredded, and about another tablespoon of sugar. And we do that the second day and the third day. And what you'll notice over the days is that this becomes alive. The bacteria, the yeast that are on that ginger, that are in the air, begin to feed off of that sugar in this solution here of the water. And that creates our culture. That's where we're going to get those friendly probiotics that are going to create that bubbly beverage for us. So here's one here that I've had going for a couple of days. And again, you want it to be covered. So I just use an old nut milk bag here. You could use cloth, towel, whatever it is. Let the air breathe, but just something to cover it so nothing falls into it. And then we're letting this sit for a few days, adding a little bit more sugar, adding a little bit more ginger each day, and then it begins to ferment. You can look at it and you can kind of tap it. You can see some bubbles rise. You can even have a little taste. You'll notice just a slight bit of effervescence there. That will let you know that you've created that culture that is ready to ferment. Take it to the next level. So part 2 of that is that we then create a ginger tea. So we've created our bug, we've cultured it for a couple of days, we've got it active, it's ready to ferment. Now we create a ginger tea. Now this, you can do any kind of tea. I wanted to do ginger reishi. I love the benefits of reishi and its properties. So I created a reishi tea with ginger. Dried ginger, fresh ginger, whatever you have. You can add that flavor in. So here we have a ginger reishi tea. Now again, we're going to sweeten it. Your choice, honey, maple syrup, cane sugar, that type of thing. So we're going to add that in. Sweeten it to taste. So this was brewed, let cooled to room temperature. We're going to sweeten that to taste. Let's just check. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. All right, so now that we have our sweetened tea, we're going to take one of these bottles. This is a flip top bottle that basically what happens is as we pour the tea in there, let's do that right now. We're going to about do it 2/3 of the way. For our sweetened ginger tea. And then we're going to take our active ginger bug, can strain out those little bits and pieces of ginger that are in there. Fill that up the rest of the way. And those two combined, those bacteria and the yeast going into this bottle, are going to digest the fresh sugar that's in there, not all the way. So it's still going to have a little bit of sweetness. And by placing this cap on there, we're going to capture that carbon dioxide, a natural byproduct of the digestion of the sugars by the bacteria and the yeast. They're going to release that carbon dioxide, capture it, so that when we go to open this to drink it, as you saw before, it's going to have a nice bubbly effervescence to it. So we let that sit out for a day on the counter, 2 days, let it ferment, and then we'll transfer it to the fridge. And as it goes into the fridge, cools it down, cools the activity of the bacteria and the yeast, and then you have a finished product. Nice and bubbly.